Just weeks ago, Mike Johnson, American Speaker House of the Representatives, rejected a request for Ruto to address a joint session of the Congress, that's the Senate and the House of the Representatives. And the reason he gave was that their schedule was tight. They were busy, so they could not afford that luxury to give Ruto time to address them. It's now emerging that the same speaker has now invited Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to address a joint session of the Congress. That's very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at that information as captured by one of the US dailies. Washington, House Speaker Mike Johnson, RLA, announced Thursday that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will address a joint session of Congress. It is unclear when the address will take place. Johnson told reporters Wednesday that he was working with Netanyahu on a date and would be sending the formal invitation this week. Tonight, I'm happy to announce something else to you, that we will soon be hosting Prime Minister Netanyahu at the Capitol for a joint session of Congress, Johnson said in a speech marking Israel's independence hosted by the Israeli embassy. This will be a timely and I think a very strong show of support to the Israeli government in their time of greatest need, he added. So the speaker is the one inviting Israel's prime minister. It's not like the case of Ruto, where it's believed that Ruto was the one requesting to address the Congress. I want us to put all this into perspective, in which I'm going to explain why William Ruto appearing disparate is making the West take him for granted. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe in order not to miss our next analysis. Let's proceed. Ruto's request was rejected because the schedule was tight. They were busy. In the case of Israel's prime minister, they are now not busy. They are more than willing to listen to him addressing them. Just look at the kind of calibers being invited to address a joint session of the US Congress. Not every Dick and Harry can just be invited to address the US Congress. I think that's coming out very, very clearly. If you look at the relationship between Israel and America, whether Democrats or Republicans, they are supporting Israel. In the case of Kenya and the United States of America, it appears only Biden and his administration are supporting Kenya and Ruto. The Republicans and other Americans are not supporting Ruto. And that's why when some Democrat lawmakers requested the Speaker to allow Ruto to address a joint session of the Congress, the Speaker rejected their request. That confirms that not America per se supports Ruto and Kenya Kwanza's administration. There is a very large portion of the United States of America that is still very skeptical of Kenya Kwanza's administration. And I think that came out very clearly by that request being rejected. And now William Ruto told us that his visit to the United States of America has yielded some fruits, that the United States of America will pump billions of dollars to Kenya. That is not guaranteed. In my honest opinion, that is not guaranteed. The United States of America is going for a general election in a few months coming. If Biden is kicked out, a new regime will be coming. Most probably a Republican regime. I don't think that regime will honor all those pledges Biden has made to Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza administration. It will depend on several issues and factors. So the pledges by Biden's administration are not guaranteed. That's why Kenya should not celebrate all those pledges by Biden's administration. And on top of that, William Ruto is coming out as being very disparate, and Biden's administration might have also realized that. So they might just be making promises to please Ruto, to cheat him that America is also with him, because already Ruto has proved to be very disparate, more than willing to please the West. America does not really need to struggle to please him. Ruto is more than willing to please the United States of America. If you look at, for example, Netanyahu, Israel is really getting a lot of support from the United States of America. But that has not made Netanyahu very disparate and a puppet of America. And I'm saying that because if you look at the ongoing war between Israel and this Hamas, Biden is against Israel invading Rafah, and it has been giving very strong warning against Netanyahu invading Rafah. Netanyahu has ignored that and is actually invading Rafah. So as much as the US is helping Israel, Netanyahu has a mind of his own. He cannot just take everything Biden is saying. He's in fact is rejecting some of Biden's requests. Can Ruto reject any request from Biden? Can he reject any request from Biden? I highly doubt. Look at, for example, this war in Haiti. It's very clear that war in Haiti is not going to benefit Kenyans in any way by Kenya intervening or helping Haitians to fight those gangs. Kenya is not going to benefit in any way. After all, Haiti is thousands of kilometers away from Kenya. Why is it that William Ruto is the person who wants to take that lead role in going to quell chaos in Haiti when US was there, but they could not quell all those chaos? We have so many US allies and even neighbors of Haiti who are not willing to take the lead roles in quelling those chaos in Haiti. Why only Kenya? In fact, that situation paints William Ruto as still very politically naive. And if you look at William Ruto's background, we know he was taken to Hague. So I'm seeing a person who is really trying all he can to sanitize himself and his name in the eyes of the West. I'm seeing a man who knows that his past was not all that good. So he wants to sanitize that by selling Kenya to the West. I believe William Ruto cannot reject any request coming from Biden's administration. So he's actually selling Kenyans to the West. And it's almost certain that America will dump William Ruto. They are just using him now to achieve some things they want to get from Kenya and maybe from Africa. And as they use him, they are making him very unpopular on the ground. And when he becomes very unpopular on the ground, America will dump him to work with a leader who will be popular. And they will easily tell William Ruto that we are a democratic nation, your people are no longer with you. And because we are a democracy in the United States of America, we cannot support you against the will of your people. As much as America did help Ruto in 2022, that help, in my honest opinion, has got some limits. You must first of all have some backings on the ground for you to be helped. But the moment you become too unpopular to be helped, I don't think America or the West can help you. They will just easily work with your opponent. And life continues. So that's what William Ruto should know. As he pleases the West, he's becoming very unpopular on the ground. And that ground is the one that will kick him out come 2027. The West can only but help to a certain limit. Ruto should know and understand that. So it's clear that Netanyahu has been invited. Ruto's request was rejected. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Those watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. Thank you.